My name's Sam Leamy. Welcome to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. I'm here with Michael McLaughlin and Connor Walsh. What's going on, lads?
Just exhausted from staying up late to watch the U.S. last night against Bosnia.
Who'd they play?
Bosnia.
You texted me about the game. I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch that. And I just didn't even watch it. Didn't remember.
It's on like my calendars on my phone. So it's for like the last like 3 months, it would be like next match. And I saw the date repeatedly. And then like yesterday happened and I was like, oh, these idiots play tonight.
It wasn't in Europe, right? It wasn't. It's in here. It's in America.
Yeah, it was at StubHub.
Yeah, it was in California. Well, we'll talk about the game a little bit later on. But I'm exhausted too. You know, just watching Tiger this weekend.
Oh man, that was great.
Did you watch every swing, every thrust, every chip, every putt, every
just the swag is back. Just the way he walks down the fairway.
That guy was fucking chicks all weekend. He really was.
Just winking. I don't think so. I think he's a changed man, but I know what you mean. Yeah, the Denny's waitresses were all out of work on fucking Saturday and Sunday.
He looks a lot thinner though. He looks way more Tigerish. He doesn't look like that jacked WWE fighter Tiger Woods that we saw a few years ago.
He didn't even play well, and he still scored pretty well. So it looks. I mean, I'm pretty excited.
I didn't see any of it. Was it? Really? I got the alerts on my phone like repeatedly. Was it good?
Just me and Micah. We are farmers. Dun, 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 dun. It was a good round. It was a good round. But he knows Torrey Pines like the back of his hands. So.
Yeah. What was that, 2009? 2008?
He's torn up that course.
Yeah. 2008 US Open.
Absolute, like, shatter.
I mean, I don't think it's stupid. You want to put a bet on him to finish top 10 Masters? I don't think that's a silly bet.
Right, it'll be exciting when the first major comes around. Definitely by around PGA time, I think he'll be. He's looking good. Some of the chips and the control he had in his short game was really good. He didn't hit any fairways though, did he? His driving was all over the place. But anyway.
It was funny, like the golf alerts you get. Like we have our little group chat, and we'll be like, "Yo, did you see that goal that Alexis just scored?" And then like with golf, Sam was like, "Yo, Tiger just drove the ball 400 yards." It was just funny, like because we're always keeping each other informed, and then Tiger drives.
It's basically three things: soccer, crypto, and Tiger.
That's all we talk about.
That's all you need to talk about. It's 2018. That's all you need to talk about. But moving on, a lot's happened since we recorded last time. Man City have lost their unbeaten record this season, going down at Anfield 4-3. Ton of MLS transfers that have happened, and breaking news just now: Jack Harrison may be on his way to Manchester City, reportedly, and then being loaned out instantly.
What's he gonna do?
Oh, huh? Well, you tell me, Mike. You tell me.
He's gonna fill the water bottles.
What's he gonna do there?
He's gonna clean players' boots.
We'll talk about that in a second. But Connor Walsh had a really bad day today, and as well as what happened last week with Sanchez moving to Manchester United and Aubameyang not completing his transfer yet to the Emirates, you also had a bad day. Another one of your players is leaving today.
Yeah, it looks like Olivier Giroud will be heading out.
Is this the worst transfer window as an Arsenal fan for players exiting? Do you feel if he leaves?
Well, I mean, we lost Coquelin. It was a good move for him, like 26. He was a good. I liked Coquelin a lot, but he wasn't a player to build around. And that's the thing at Arsenal. There's always been, the last 10 years, there's been so many players on the books that are like Rio Miyachi, played for us for like 8 years, was on loan the whole time. Like Carlos Vela, guys like that was always on loan. Or
Carlos
always,
Vela was sick.
Yeah, he was sick though. But like still, you had all these guys on loan that we held on to year after year. Like Wellington Silva is still on loan, I think. He's been on loan for a decade.
Joel Campbell as well.
Yeah, so you have, like, Coquelin was one of those guys who ended up being needed and filled the role for a few seasons and was played well, all things considered. Not the most exciting player. He never scored a goal for Arsenal, but like did his job like, to the best of his ability. I liked him, but it was good to sell him. Good to sell Walcott. Good to sell Alexis, I think, in the long run. That one hurt though. That one hurt more
the
than
Walcott one.
No, that was celebrating
Sanchez?
Walcott. Sanchez hurt, but like
let's rewind to I mean, it's been a few days to reflect on that exchange that you did with Man United, Mkhitaryan transfer. Looked like he was going to Man City. Looked inevitable that he was going to go to Man City. And then Man United swooped in because City were having doubts on the fee that he was demanding, especially his agent and the size of his contract.
Yeah, high wages.
Do you think, without that Van Persie transfer that happened a few years ago, do you think that softened the blow on this Sanchez deal, or did that hurt just as much?
I remember where I was and what I was doing when I found out Van Persie got sold. I was in Foot Locker. I left for college my freshman year the next day.
Like mercenary, that's instantly you thought, like, absolute.
Yeah, I was devastated. And this one didn't hurt as bad. This one didn't hurt as bad.
Because that happened.
But it also was more it's more just sad about Arsenal's. It doesn't hurt, it's just
like it's
sadness.
like kind of like the Kennedy assassination. Like, you know where you were. It's really, yeah.
No, it was just like I was like I remember where I was, and it was that one hurt, but now it's just sad.
Mike was alive. Where were you?
I was alive. The Kennedy assassination. I was like, I was skipping.
You were macking.
Yeah, macking chicks.
I have seen your stand up. You do crack some really funny dark jokes, but anyway.
Thanks, man.
No, you do. But you remember the Van Persie transfer, Mike? He did as much as he could do at Arsenal, yet he still did not win Premier League trophy under Arsenal.
Yeah, and that's why I don't.
Also, why did his hair go gray so quickly? That was very confusing.
Probably Wenger.
Dude, Van Persie looked the most basic haircut. Like, it
looked nice. He had nice gray. He had a nice look. It had,
Was it nice though? It
was like an early Anderson Cooper kind of thing.
Nah, it was like, I'm going to go to the barbershop, and he's like, give me a 4 on the sides and don't do anything else. That was it. And it was just like this weird gray old
he'd be one of those guys you found. No, but he'd be one of those guys you'd be like,
right back and making
30? And he like 30? Is he 30? He's like, no, he's 22,
Yeah, I don't know. So we have no host now for the next few minutes.
Yeah, did Sam just leave the podcast?
He's going to finish up some tea.
Sorry.
He's got some tea.
I'm sorry I was late. Sam. You just leave the podcast.
Yeah. So, Mike, how is this transfer window affecting you, buddy?
It's affecting me a lot. I've lost my.
You look exhausted.
I got to be honest with you. I've been working hard, but I got to be honest with you. I'm feeling the USA loss of not being in the World Cup more now than I was like 5 months ago when it happened. Because now when you really look at it, like when Pulisic has a bad game or just really doesn't do anything for a few weeks, or there's no MLS on,
it kind of feels as much.
Yeah, it just doesn't. There's nothing. I want somebody somewhere. Like I'm watching Josh Sargent, score goals in the U23 team for whatever. For what team is he on?
Bremen. Werder Bremen.
That's like get me. Oh yeah, we have. I want to be positive that we got a team coming up. Coming down the road. I've always been way over positive for a USA team, like to the point of ridiculousness. I made a bet one time that Josie Altidore would score 20 goals in the Premier League.
And you lost the bet, correct?
Yeah, I lost the bet. Yeah.
Okay.
How many did he score?
1? No, 2. He scored 1 in the FA Cup, I think. 2.
Yeah, he scored twice for Sunderland.
Link up, whatever it was. I made that bet twice though, when he was at Hull and when he was at Sunderland. And I got no odds. It was just straight up. Yeah, he's going to score 20.
But bad day for you. I mean, if Giroud leaves to Chelsea, who have been linked to every number 9 on the planet, it seemed to be in this transfer window. Peter Crouch, Benteke.
Well, I said 2 weeks ago or like 3 weeks ago, I was like, yo, if Chelsea are in for a striker, like why would it not be Giroud? And then I guess my own, I don't know,
your own wishes,
my own insightfulness, if you will, has come to bite me in the butt. I'm like pretty.
So let's go back to Sanchez. I mean, this is a player who you have ranked in the top 5 in the world, who has gone from a very good Premier League team to a giant Premier League team, as Mourinho said. In terms of them catching up with Man City, maybe not this season, but next season, the way he's building that squad, do you think they're going to be any closer next season, or closer gap?
Just got to keep building, because the thing is, City's not going to stop building. Like City is like a monster that just like devours everything in its path. Like every player they can sign that is better than another player on their team, they're going to sign. It's crazy. Like you already have a world class player, and you'll sign a slightly better world class player.
Haven't Man City bought talented players not at the world-class stage and turn them into world-class players. You take De Bruyne, for example, not a guy who was...
You think Man City is responsible for making him into a world-class player, or was he always going to be a world-class player?
That's a good question. I think Guardiola has brought the best out of players. He's brought the best out of John Stones. He's brought the best out of Otamendi. You know, those
Sterling
brought the best out of Sterling. Those players weren't at the level they were when they joined Man City. He's very focused on player development, and I believe he's brought the best out of those players. And he may have looked at Sanchez and gone, why can I make him any better than he is? Probably not.
Well, the thing is, Pep actually knows Alexis, and like Alexis, it didn't work out at Barcelona the first time because of just who he is as a person. He's very stubborn, and it wasn't going to work out again at City. He's better off at United. It's just crazy, man. Like how do you sell to United? Your best player twice in 5 years, or a decade. Yeah, 5 years. 2000.
So where else would he go? It sounded like he wanted to go to Man City to win trophies. To be part of the Man City team this year, joining up halfway through the season, may or may not feel like you've won a Premier League title. I've
always wondered that. Like, do you actually feel like you had a... Like, what do players feel like when they get transferred in or get, like a
January window?
Like a baseball player, they get trade deadline. They get traded.
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
What do they feel?
Red Sox, the Red Sox 04 season, they got Doug Mientkiewicz, Dave Roberts, and Orlando Cabrera, all, I think that's his name, all at the trade deadline. And then they played for 2 months, but they all played huge roles in the playoffs, so that I felt like they were all actually on the team. You know what I mean? Like they had, especially Dave Roberts. So it was like...
That's more of a journey, though. That's because you have that whole playoff picture, and that lasts for nearly a month.
Yeah, it's a season in itself.
The drama that goes within the playoffs is something totally different to the season. But Premier League season, they're so far ahead that if Sanchez did go to City, would he feel like he's responsible for them winning the league? Maybe if it comes down to, if United do close the gap, but that's a good question.
Could close the gap? Sam, you think United could close the gap?
The exactly same point separation in 95, 96 when Newcastle were ahead. But Man City, but it was Newcastle, and Newcastle looked like they had weaknesses, and Man City do not look like they had weaknesses. Let's go back to the 4-3 game at Anfield. What a great game. Definitely probably one of the games of the season. We say that every other week anyway.
Well, there has been a lot of great games. But yeah, that was the game of the season. And the thing is, like, Liverpool, and I think everyone that's ever played a Pep Guardiola team knows how to beat his team. It's just press high. But the thing is, when you press that high for that long, as we saw in the City game, like, you can't sustain that fitness level or that stamina level for 90 minutes. And then, City scored twice in the last 10 minutes of the game to make it interesting. That's the only way to beat City is press high, press relentlessly, and also score goals while you're pressing. Which Liverpool, that's like their whole game. So Liverpool has kind of been City's kryptonite, especially at Anfield the last however many seasons, last 4 or 5 years.
They haven't won since 2011, all right?
Yeah, that sounds right. So... I know but the thing is, like, Liverpool was built to press like that. Most teams aren't built to press like that. But that's how you beat City, and Liverpool implemented it well, and more power to them. But yeah, it was a great game, some great goals.
That was the best. That's probably the best game of the year, I thought.
Yeah,
Premier League.
Yeah, game of Arsenal was pretty good. Man United, Arsenal, Man United.
That was good. Yeah.
But what's more interesting, I think, is what we have looking forward. Mourinho just signed a contract to 2020, and I like this battle between the two Manchester clubs, the Guardiola and Mourinho. I feel that's going to be kind of a Ferguson-Wenger-esque rivalry for the next 2-3 years now.
Definitely, definitely, it's great.
That's really exciting to see. I don't think Man
City.
Sam,
how do you feel about getting Sanchez on your team? Like, is the first when
I first heard the rumor, I was excited. Then I thought about it more, and then you look at the money and everything, what's being thrown around, but you're looking at one of the biggest club in the world. Money really doesn't mean anything, and they've done a swap with a player who wasn't getting in the team anyway, so the transfer fee was thrown out the window. But for the quality, only time will tell. He's obviously a proven, outstanding Premier League player, so It's kind of a safe bet. My only concern is probably his age. He's 29. How many more seasons can we get out of him? Van Persie came over similar age, and he did a great job for 3 years, and then left.
They're very similar transfers.
Identical transfers, and
very similar.
When I ask you, I mean, does it hurt as bad as the Van Persie one? Do you think Van Persie was Sanchez is a better player than Van Persie was?
Oh, absolutely. Because the thing was with Van Persie was he was hurt so much throughout his whole young career, and then by the time he turned 25, 26, it was either like this kid either has to become a top striker or his career's done, and he became a top striker for 5 years, 6 years, but that was it. Like he struggled for a while at Arsenal, and I always liked him. I always saw the potential, and he ended up being great. That one hurt more though because Van Persie hurt more because like it was just
selling your best player to a rival.
Yeah, and this is just you kind of expect it now, and you get it now.
Yeah.
Like, I understand Sanchez's frustration. I get it. So like I'm more sad about the situation than I am sad about losing him. It's just kind of like a reflection of the state of Arsenal, and that's just like how I look at it. And it sucks, man. It really sucks to lose.
Who was the swap for? I'm like an idiot. Who?
Mkhitaryan.
Oh, Mkhitaryan. That's right. Yeah, no, that's probably that's not bad though. He could like Mkhitaryan wasn't getting in the team. He might fit better at Arsenal.
The thing is like the fact he didn't play at United like doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like last summer or 2 summers ago, every Arsenal fan wanted Mkhitaryan. He's been linked to Arsenal for 3-4 years.
Even Wenger inquired about him. But
yeah, so
aren't you concerned that the fact that United are way ahead of Man United are way ahead of Arsenal in the transfer market? Like any player Arsenal can or would be interested in, the two Manchester clubs can snap them up right under your nose.
Well, that's just reality when you're a mid-table club. Like I can't compete. No, it's the reality. Like I can't expect to compete with United. And I think I joke.
But wasn't the whole purpose of moving to the Emirates is to go that next level to win a European Cup to attract the best players?
Exactly, and that's why it's frustrating. That's why it's infuriating. Is that hasn't even remotely looked like it was going to happen. However, I will say though, and like this is like a bright spot, a silver lining through all this is with this new director of football and the chief scout from Barcelona and the guy from Dortmund, whatever, at Arsenal now. It seems like the changing of the guards is already going underway. I mean, they're bringing Lacazette this summer, record signing. Rumors are Wenger leaving. We're linked to Aubameyang. We're willing to sell players that are on the books that we weren't willing to sell before. Now these players are
a lot of young players
moved.
as well. A few players in that England
and
World
then
Cup winning team.
It seems like the tides are turning with hopefully the right people are now going to take over the club. And I mean, any club in the world would love to have Aubameyang, and if Arsenal pulls it off, like there's
you
still.
You think this transfer is going to go through?
I don't think it will. I mean, everyone.
When is the window? When is the window up? January 31st.
Yeah, so Wednesday. We're recording on a Monday, so 2 days from now.
Aubameyang did play this weekend.
Yeah, he was dropped from the squad last weekend, and because his head wasn't in the right place, and then he played this weekend.
Just playing hardball. Dortmund are playing hardball, but it's just the transfer is. It relies on. It's like a three-way.
What if they get both of them?
What do you mean both of them?
Who's the other one?
I don't know. You saying a guy from Dortmund is running Arsenal now, or part of them? He's scouting. Come on, bring them all back together. Mkhitaryan.
I mean, that'd be
Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang. That's a great look for Arsenal.
Yeah,
it's been a good. It has been. It's been a very
Pennsylvania
proactive
winger.
I'm not going
to put him on the squad.
All right,
put him on the squad.
Hit your section in a bit.
I'm gonna hit my section in a minute because I got some shit to say about that game.
Okay. All right. So moving on, the transfer window does close on the 31st. Man City have still maintained their 12-point lead at the top. Post Man City game, Liverpool have lost at Swansea and are out of the FA Cup. But what's really interesting is the introduction of VAR Dude to the FA Cup. And there's been some controversial moments in VAR in the FA Cup, especially that West Brom Liverpool game the other day. Either of you watch it?
I did watch it.
Okay.
I missed the VAR.
There was I
only
VAR
watched
moments.
the VAR.
Huh?
There's been a lot of VAR. There's been a lot of VAR in the FA Cup, and there's one in the. Actually, did they use? VAR in the Carabao Cup, the Arsenal-Chelsea game? I can't remember, but yeah, there's been a lot.
Yeah. Very controversial, very frustrating for the supporters. A few incidences in that West Brom-Liverpool game at Anfield the other day. Slowed the game down. I believe it took 4 minutes for one decision. There was another decision that referee looked back. I think it was 5 minutes because they can go back for 10 minutes. They can make a decision for 10 minutes prior. Yeah, it's
oh
it's
my
insane.
god,
Yeah.
it is so stupid.
So I've been pretty much against VAR from the start.
What if the game? Wait. What if the game is called like 93rd minute, and then everyone's off the field, and then they're like,
oh, there's so many scenarios where it would be so outrageous. So many.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Even on like the tight, really tight offside calls. It's too much. I know it's where the game's heading, and it's gonna come regardless. But it's gonna take at least 20 years to perfect this, right?
I would say so. The other thing they have to perfect is why do they have their headquarters is like 80 miles in the middle of nowhere on a farm.
Cornwall.
They keep
in Germany?
saying in England.
I think that's a joke because they're taking reference from the NFL and NHL.
I heard it like 4 times. They're like, yeah, they do that. They're like the headquarters are in Oxfordshire, located 80 miles away from here.
There's a bunch of weirdo cities in England.
It just sounds like a
Beconshire. No, dude.
VAR, dude.
VAR, dude.
Yeah. What were we gonna say?
I don't remember now because he's got me all going with thinking about those weird towns in England. No, it's with the I forgot. Shit.
Nonsense. But let's move over to the MLS and the transfer dealings that have been happening there. You want to do this?
Oh, you know what's gonna be weird? You know what's gonna be bad?
What?
Is that when they have the fucking, like, in the NFL they have the first down marker. They're gonna have that in soccer, just like the offside. It's just sort of this line going up and down the field.
They can't have that for TV.
Dude, they're gonna try to do some bullshit like that. They're gonna try to do it for America, guarantee you.
That's
some weird offside line that's going with the last defender wherever he goes, and
the standards are just all over. It's so different from grassroots to the professional game. It's crazy. You go down 3-4 divisions, they don't have camera angles that they can have at the Emirates or Old Trafford. At Yeovil Town, you can't get some of the camera angles that are gonna help VAR out. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah. That's
Sutton
good,
United wasn't it Arsenal played last year? You think they have all these?
You have to bring like a bunch
of shit. Yeah, it's.
You have to bring a bunch of HD cameras.
They have people on top of trees outside the ground because they couldn't get a ticket for the game.
They're holding the VAR camera. They got the angles, man.
It's just shaking VAR, dude.
But we're all in agreement that VAR is just kind of a farce right now.
Yeah.
So?
But the thing is, like, to defend the VAR implementers, the governing bodies that are ruining the game, like, they have to just throw it out there and let it figure itself out. If it takes 5, 10, 20 years, like, it's not going anywhere. And
yeah, I mean, it's the FA, and they're really good at hiring men. But anyway, let's move on. It's 23 minutes in. The MLS section is here. The MLS preseason. The combines happened. Young Alphonsi has been drafted to DC United, which actually Connor predicted on this podcast maybe a month ago. He was linked to DC United, and he was drafted by DC United.
Look at no one.
That's why he.
I mean, does anyone remember this?
No one's got a finger on the college soccer beat like me, man. I'm out here.
That's what I'm saying.
And did we even did we record this? Did we put this out, or you just stopped and you didn't want to, throw stuff in the rumor mill? You were like, you didn't want to.
No, listen. I said I had some information about a player.
Where did you get this information from?
I'm nice on Twitter, yo.
Sorry, all right.
No, it was a complete guess. I literally just threw out DC United. But the cool thing about him going to DC is because he was drafted in like the 4th round. We're talking about Alfonso. You should say we're talking about. Yeah, Alfonso.
Yeah, I said Alfonso Pinero.
One of the best strikers in college soccer the last 2 or 3 years.
What team did he play for?
University of Albany.
Really? He's a Great Dane.
Yeah, he's more than a Great Dane. He's a drafted Dane. It's even better.
He's drafted in the 4th. That means he's going to play.
And he graduated in December, so he's eligible for this season.
Oh, sick.
But he's going to go, what I like is he's going to, so DC and Pittsburgh, the DC United and Pittsburgh Riverhounds are affiliated. Pittsburgh Riverhounds are a team in the 3rd Division USL, and he's probably going to go to Pittsburgh, which would be sick.
Yeah, he had a really good combine. He was invited down as the leading scorer in the America East the last 2 seasons, and he got invited down to the combine in Florida, and had a really good combine. I saw a couple of his goals.
What was his 40 time?
I don't know, dude.
4 flat.
It's fast. That's Bo Jackson fast. All right.
I feel like a combine, especially like in the American game, is like a kid that played like D3 could all of a sudden get drafted. Like,
oh, Nick Haggerty went to the combine.
He did?
Yeah, anyway. Listeners don't want to hear that. But we're 25 minutes in. It's the MLS. The combines happen. Few transfers, preseason warming up. I've had the third rail barking at me all day today. But big news down in Florida today. Huge news. And a lot around the country. Take it away.
Big news coming out of Miami today. David Beckham was busted with a kilo of coke in his son Brooklyn's backpack.
Shut up.
Rumors,
this is not true.
Don't want to speculate. No, it's not true.
Dude.
But the Miami club was finally announced. Shout out to Bex. 4-year battle's done. Well done, David. You finally get your club. That was written into your MLS contract like a decade ago that you'd get a club for a fraction of the price.
So he doesn't have to pay any startup cost to the MLS to get Miami into the league.
When I researched this for the podcast like 6 months ago, it was like everyone else has to pay like $180 million.
Yeah.
He had to pay like,
I thought it was nothing. That was in his contract.
no, it was like a $20 million.
Okay, all right.
Which is
So
it's not his money though. Like his investors are paying $20 million.
Investors do.
Which a couple of people.
But
with
big announcement was
suitcases.
made down in Miami. There's no start date or name of the club yet officially. Right now it's just Miami whatever. Like there's no name or. So I'm sure those details will come. But the big thing with this was the stadium
Probably
situation.
Miami FC.
What was that one terrible name? Oh, Miami Vice. Oh my god.
Miami Vice?
Yeah,
Sorry,
Miami
man.
Vice FC.
Vice. Well, I mean, I was gonna say like the Cocaine Cowboys
Yeah.
or Miami
Yeah, those players are going to be really fast.
El Chapo FC.
El Chapo.
But yeah, 25,000 person stadium downtown. Sites approved. Developers are picked. My problem with Miami, and it's the same as LA, is that like the fans are so fair weather and star driven that like I don't know. I hope that the team is successful as far as like a supporter culture, and there is a lot of like Hispanic people in that area.
Yeah.
But
Huge support.
I know.
Yeah,
Huge.
I mean, the market's there. You
But-
know the market's there. They'll go to the game.
But you watch like the Miami Heat in between D Wade and Shaq and LeBron arriving, and there was 10 people at the games. LeBron comes, every game sold out. LeBron leaves, there's 10 people at the games, and like
I just don't think the MLS is heading in that direction. They have their stars. I think they're moving away from the big stars, and they're looking to grow the league. There's plenty of talented players
Organically, yeah.
here.
Connor's right though. I mean, every Miami Heat game you watched, even when LeBron was there, like when the second half started, it was like 10% of the seats were filled. It took like to midway through the third quarter before like everybody came back.
Or like
with their
same thing. Like
party,
I
I
said,
guess.
Los Angeles is the same way. Like a Dodgers game, no one even shows up until the 5th inning.
What?
yeah.
Why is this? They're just lazy?
There's better things
don't
to
care.
do. There's better things to do in Miami and Los Angeles than sit in a stadium that's 100 degrees on a
And
Saturday.
they don't really care. Deep down, they don't really care.
Yeah, they're all superficial.
That's a lot of passion.
Expose you, Miami.
I mean, I think
No, I
it
was-
can work.
no,
in the
dude, I was
sa-
in
I,
LA.
I think it can work the same way as Orlando did. No one thought that would work. The introduction of Kaká there in the
There's
first
nothing
season
to do
of
in Orlando.
There's plenty of stuff. We went to Orlando. There's
Yeah, and we
tons
were
of-
tourists. If you're living in Orlando, you're not going to Disney World every weekend. There's nothing to do there. That's why you go to games. Miami and LA.
Go to the
there's
gym, bro.
That's right.
I played golf down in Naples, Mike, last couple of days ago.
That's great. How'd you hit it? You haven't played golf with me in like 2 years.
I hit it really well, actually. Really well.
Really?
Yeah, I hit mid to high. I think I hit an 87 or 88. Took 2 mulligans.
Ah.
Yeah, I was renting
Had a
clubs
nice
as well.
swing.
My swing was
Nice.
on fire. But anyway, the heat down in Miami, is that going to bother Beckham and his 3 children and his wife?
I don't know.
What are his kids' name? Staten
Brooklyn.
Island, fucking Jersey. What are their
Brooklyn,
names?
Cruz, Romeo, and Harlot? Is it Harlot?
What? Harlot? That's not a good name.
No, all right. So the best part about this Miami announcement was the video that was made of like.
Oh, this is great, Mike.
This is like I was shocked that this was affiliated with MLS. Every A-list person is in this video. Neymar, Jay-Z,
everyone.
Tom Brady, Will Smith.
All recorded today.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it wasn't recorded. It's probably recorded before, but they were like, "Good luck, Miami." Like, you know what I mean? Just one of those things. But it was like impressively.
That's gross.
No, it's really impressive. It's not gross.
It's good?
You'll like it.
It was just like every person was like more and more famous. And you're like, what is Beckham doing here? Like, I feel like Beckham just came over to the United States and partied a lot and met a lot of people. And obviously he was an international superstar.
I didn't see Diplo on there.
Yeah, no Diplo.
Yeah. Or Biebs. Was Biebs on there?
No Biebs.
All right. Sucks.
Well, it was interesting. Like Will Smith.
Yeah, no, it's really good. YouTube it and go congratulate. I don't know. What do you have to YouTube?
I'll watch it.
Congratulate. We'll talk about it after the podcast. But yeah, go to YouTube and
we'll go to the MLS website. It's right there. Yeah. MLSsoccer.com. It's funny though. It's not funny. It's just like, wow, this is impressive. Like Jay-Z's like standing by a pool, like, yo, what up, DB?
So they will be in the MLS in 2020. They're going to be in a temporary home until 2021.
None of that's true.
Why not?
There's not a date announced. The team doesn't have a name yet. There's no start date for the club.
Around okay. All right.
You could be right. It's probably going to be 2020, 2021.
Yeah, right.
But it's not official.
All right.
Jay-Z said it was 2020.
True. On the Black Album, he said that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Congratulations, Miami. Welcome.
I don't have to hear about it anymore. Sad little Beckham can't get his $20 million team. All right. Other MLS news.
He said it was his dream, by the way, as a little boy to own a club.
No, it wasn't.
It couldn't have been. It was to play for Man United, and then everything followed.
When he saw his net worth was like $800 million, he was like, yeah, I'll probably open a team. And that was like 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. I don't think it was a lifelong dream. Whatever.
But anyway.
The knob. All right, Sam said Jack Harrison could be on the move. NYCFC young English starlet. Recently debuted for the England under-21s. Great player. Good lad. He's shorter than me. I put my arm around his shoulder. We're boys. But looks like, as Sam said, Man City would be buying their own player. Kind of weird situation there. And then loaning them to Middlesbrough. And then I saw today as well that Middlesbrough or just outright might just bid $8.5 million for him, which is impressive.
That's not. Yeah. What's the record?
Well, that was probably. Sorry, carry on.
The record.
What's the record for MLS
leaving?
player?
Altidore,
Transfer.
bro.
Yeah. Altidore, right? It is
50 million. No, I can't remember what the bigger.
I think it is Altidore.
Was it Dempsey?
12.
Dempsey was pretty big. The transfer.
But that was
no.
Dude, that was even like that was like 8
Fulham.
years ago, and it was probably like 13, 12, whatever. Like,
but Man City probably have a deal if he does go to Borough for 8.5. They probably have first dibs on him, or maybe a sell-on clause as well. But it's a hefty price. I can't see him being ready for the Premier League right now, based on the last 2 seasons. But it would be a good move for Jack Harrison to get into Europe and get a chance to play and have a little door open for the Premier League. I think it's a good club, a high challenging championship club. It is a good move for him at such a young age. I think he's had fun in New York. There's no question about that. But does he want to be that poster boy for New York City FC and the MLS? I don't know if he's at that level. I think he has to go to a different club to learn and educate his game further.
Yeah, and I think what we'll see. I know the last podcast we talked about that Ezequiel Barco kid from Argentina. He was having the issue signing for Atlanta. That deal got wrapped up this week. And I think players like him or even a Jack Harrison, like it's going to be interesting to see when there's actually a kid right now, the 18-year-old on Montreal, I forgot his name, that Barcelona are like heavily looking at. And I think we'll slowly start seeing the MLS go through a period of being like a selling league where there's talent in there that can be bought, like younger South Americans that might be a little bit too good for a club in South America, go to MLS for a year or two, and then their value is 40, 50 million.
Yeah, so if Harrison is, somewhat successful at Middlesbrough and like gets in the first team and plays, will that like help, you know what I mean? Like to make a little sort of like a path of like so other people can follow that? Like would that make MLS more of a selling league and then therefore like make the level of play higher?
I think they have to respect the wishes of young players. I don't think they should hold them hostage in the MLS, even though, we adore the league for some reason. But I feel like you can't have them, forcefully play in the MLS. They should have that option. I don't think it should turn into a selling league. I feel like the ones that want to stay, and then there's whole visa issues as well. I mean, Jack Harrison has a visa issue. All these South American players have visa issues. I
didn't mean to. I know I said selling league, and I guess I kind of mean that, but I mean just a league where there's attractive talent to bigger European clubs, and there it has been that we've seen Americans.
Well, the strongest players in the MLS are gonna leave if they. How many MLS players do you think have chosen to stay and they've had that option to move abroad? There's only a couple that come to mind. There's Jordan Morris, who had that chance to move abroad and he stayed, and I feel like he's gonna stay in the MLS for his career. Couple of others.
I just think we'll see a lot more of the Jack Harrison type player.
Brian Ching should have gone to Europe. There you go. There's the other one.
There you go. No,
he was good enough. I swear he was good enough.
No, but dude, what was Stu Holden's transfer? I don't know, probably $5 million or something.
No, dude, probably 500,000.
Really? Yeah. Now, he was having a good year at Houston. But what I'm saying is this is if you can get those if you can get those up to 20, 30 million, it gives the league respect, right? And then more people.
I think this is a very respectable bid for Jack Harrison. 8.5
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 8.5 is very.
Played in New York for just 2 seasons starting, and he's done well. He hasn't won anything there, but his performance has definitely justified the price tag. I can definitely understand that.
Mike, real quick, Stuart Holden went from Houston to Bolton for £175,000.
Wow, that's a deal.
But his overall value by the end of his career. 4 million ish.
Yeah, stats.
There was a moment there before that fucking dickhead at Manchester United ruined his life.
Yeah, well, dick. And he looks like.
What was that guy's name?
Yeah, he looks like he's going to go City as well. So him and Jack might be teammates soon. But moving on, we've only got 10 minutes left of the podcast. But
there's one other quick.
Sorry.
One other quick Columbus move, or one other quick MLS move. Justin Merriam, Iraqi international, has left Columbus for Orlando. Another good signing for Orlando, adding on to the Sasha Kleshton pickup and even the Dom Dwyer pickup from last season.
Orlando needed to do something as well in this close season, and it really needed to make some moves.
Yeah.
And if Jason Christen doesn't deliver this year, he could be on his way out.
Probably hasn't got the job done. The deal was worth $750,000 of targeted allocation money, $300,000 of general allocation money, and a 2019 international roster spot. Miriam's coming off of 13 goals.
What does that mean to 2019 international?
So you have, dude, MLS is crazy. All right, so clubs have a certain amount of international players you can trade or have on your roster, and you can trade the spot. If we're allowed 5 players, I can trade one of those positions. So I'm allowed 4, and then you're allowed 6 international players.
Okay, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, brilliant. And then Galaxy apparently are close to signing Ibrahimovic. Don't care at all. I'm so over the whole European players that are just old coming over. I just hate it. And it's why they're coming over here. They want to play one more year, make some extra money, and then have a sick house in LA. And I respect it. Why would you not do that? But just as a fan, it's just I'm not. Is anyone really going to be excited for
Yeah, I think a lot of people in LA would be hugely excited for Ibrahimovic going. I think he's one of the top names in footy right now, and
I agree. I
think people will go. I understand your guys' point. I mean, I didn't want him. I didn't even want him at United the first season. I'm watching highlights of United last season, and Ibrahimovic. I know he scored a good amount of goals, but he missed a hatful of chances, an absolute hatful of chances, and you get a top striker. Lukaku's been up and down this season, but I haven't seen him miss a hatful of chances like Ibra did. And Ibra looks way off the pace this season, the amount of games.
But that's what I'm saying is, if the guys, I think there should be an age cutoff for excitement, 31, 32. Once they're 33, I don't really want...
You're seeing David Villa at 35, rip
Yeah, but he's the only one that, has really killed it.
Robbie Keane did a good job.
Keane did, yeah. But he was like 30, he was younger than he thought. I think he was like 30 when he made the move.
Yeah. Well, the difference is they're just a different type of person. Like they just
and Robert Keane wasn't a superstar either. He wasn't a superstar. He was just a good striker at Tottenham.
He moved over as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I know. I
just like don't.
I don't think you can enforce that in the current climate about ages. I don't think
you can say there's a rule.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Like in England or like. Not in England, but like if you say Sam supports United, like he's never gonna get excited about a 32-year-old, regardless of who it is coming to the club. In like MLS, like people will go to the airport to watch a 32-year-old sign for the club, like to welcome.
Sport's still growing. That's fine.
I know that, but it's just funny that
you have
32 is old. Like you're done in soccer at 32, more or less. Just about like
financially, you're not a good investment. No, but I mean, you could still do great in the MLS.
I think Ibrahimovic for jersey sales is a great investment from a business point of view. 100%. How many LA? I might buy a Ibrahimovic Galaxy jersey. I'm trying to buy a Raul New York Cosmos jersey, and he went there when he was like 37, 38. I think that is absolute culture. But anyway, and what else is coming up in?
Yeah, I just threw this in my little thing. CONCACAF Champions League starts February 20th. First game is actually between two MLS clubs, Colorado and Toronto.
Exciting.
Every team plays that week. I saw that the Rebels are playing some Olympia, I think, from Honduras, and they're playing like at a neutral site because it's just way too dangerous. It's culture, yo.
We should go to a game. Should we go to the Rebel?
No, I don't want to go to Rebel game.
But New York City FC are not in the.
They got bounced. So the MLS clubs don't even know when they're in this competition because it's so hard to figure out who makes it, and everything is because teams that are entering this year were good like 2 years ago. So Colorado made the CONCACAF Champions League because they were in the conference.
This year?
They made it 2 years ago. Remember when they were in the conference final against Seattle and they lost? They made it from that year. But they're in this year and they were like the worst team in MLS arguably this past season. So it's weird.
But Toronto then made it, right?
Toronto made it, yeah. Toronto made it. Seattle made it. Red Bulls made it. Red Bulls won the Supporter Shield that year. They made it.
Okay.
But this is from 2 seasons ago. So NYCFC were supposed to be in it, or they were announced they were in it, and then it turns out they weren't in it. And I was like, I thought it would be fun to go to a Champions League game at Yankee Stadium on like a Wednesday night against some
in February.
Yeah, sick. I was so into it, and then obviously they got bounced or whatever you want to call it, a clerical mistake.
Wow.
So maybe they'll be in it next year though. No, maybe they won't be. I don't know.
We'll see. But thank you. Good roundup.
Yes.
On to the USA Bosnia game, the January camp. Riveting stuff down at the StubHub Center in LA. You guys catch the game? I know you were working. I watched a bit of home. I was flicking back and forth to the Grammys just because Kendrick, you know.
You got it. You're a big Kendrick guy?
No, I don't know. I don't really know anything about him, but I just wanted to see what he was like. He's all right.
Yeah,
he's got some shit.
He's a good rapper.
Yeah. Arguably the best rapper of all time, right? That's what.
No, but you could say he's probably the best rapper alive.
Yeah.
Probably the best rapper alive.
Who's the best rapper alive, Mike?
Best rapper alive. Nas or Eminem. I think technically.
Yeah, I forgot
right?
Nas. I forgot those guys are still around.
How come
Nas never died? Like, why didn't?
But
Nas...
I have listened to what's his name? The guy Kendrick Lamar. I have listened to him. I like it actually. Yeah. Because all this other new shit like Future and all this stuff is like, oh my god.
Future Hendrix is like, Future's the best at what he does though. Future's sick.
No, they're all. I get that it's fun, but it's like it just still sound. I don't know. I can't take it. It's not bad though. I guess.
All right, we'll do. We'll carry on.
All right, no, I was gonna say I'll just I'll throw some Stillmatic on in the car and cruise home with that. I love Nas. USA
playing out a 0-0 draw against Bosnia.
What happened
in
that game? I didn't watch any of that game.
I saw Robert Prozinecki as the coach of Bosnia, and he was a huge player when I was growing up. He played in 2 World Cups for 2 different countries, and now he's managing a different country. He played for Yugoslavia and Croatia in the World Cups, and he was a great player. He played for Portsmouth in the Premier League. Great goal scoring record. He looked like an 84-year-old man on the touchline coaching that Bosnia team. But what a drab, boring, slow, unsmooth performance from everyone involved. Even the commentators weren't even showing any sympathy and saying they were rusty. I mean, Tyler Adams was energetic. The lineup,
he almost played a really nice through ball.
But it just looked sloppy. It didn't look cohesive. It didn't look. It looked weird. Let's put it that way. I feel.
Did it look like too many players at different levels of skill, like mashed together?
No, it looked like too many players with no skill.
Yeah, it looked the skill level was very low. Yeah, there was a player doing a couple of good step overs, then he wouldn't be able to run. He wouldn't know where he was kicking the ball. There was weird movements off the ball.
Nobody showed well. Like, no one looked good.
Then the goalkeepers, the USA goalkeepers, that's promising. Hamid in the first half.
Yeah, Stefan in the second.
Stefan in the second. I thought those were solid.
I mean, when Will Trapp is your captain, like, couldn't even make the Olympic squad. He couldn't even get us to the Olympics. He's the captain then. Now he's the captain. And I was talking to my one buddy last night, and he told me he was, like, not watching any USA games for a while. He's like, dude, I can't do it yet. I'm just not ready. He said he watched some of the game last night, and he was like, everyone's, like, gives Bradley such a hard time. But, like, when Bradley's been terrible for 2 years, how come none of these guys that are supposed to be good were able to replace him? And now those guys that are supposed to be good are, like, 25, 26, like Will Trapp. And it's like, it's just, I feel like we thought the future was brighter with these players, but then, like, once reality sets in, like, we're just like hopeless romantics with the national team. And
a couple of guys that could have been called up to this game, Jonathan Gonzalez, who was opted for Mexico.
Huge loss to the U.S. program.
And then Christian Ramirez as well, who didn't get a call up. Was there any?
No, he got called up.
He didn't play.
He got cut. I think he got cut.
He got cut. He didn't
but
play.
He was Christian Ramirez was the highest scoring American in the calendar year. Didn't get called up.
Weird. Was there anything? There was a reason why for that?
He got called up. I remember looking at the roster. He got called. I'm still, like, checked out from this.
Hey, did Andrew Carlson get called up?
No.
That's my boy.
But do you watch any of the game, Mike?
I've never missed a minute. I've never missed a minute of a USA game in the last 7 or 8 years, maybe. Okay. If I ever have, I've always DVR'd it. Always got home and watched it. I've never not cared as much. Connor hit me up and I go, oh, sick, awesome, I'll watch it tonight. Can't believe I didn't know that was happening. I'm so distracted by Tiger and whatever. And then I watched a documentary about New York City. I didn't even.
What?
Dude,
I just watched a documentary about. It's like an old Ken Burns' brother made a documentary whatever. It was really good actually, but it was better than the game. Now it's on like YouTube. I actually have a bunch of DVD. It's a long story. It's on YouTube. But dude, I just didn't watch it, and I don't know. Is there another game? Do they play again on this January period?
That was it, man. Just
a one-off. What's the point of it?
Well, this year it seemed pointless. In the past, it's a chance for fringe guys, more or less, or just like the guys to get a chance to play. The non-Europe-based players to get together and play, and it's great. It is great. But this year it was.
I will say this though. Dude. Our Europe-based players now are so. They're Pulisic.
That's it.
No, Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah.
The kid at Schalke, Weston McKennie. I even think that this kid at Werder Bremen is going to go up pretty quickly. He's got, Josh Sargent.
Yeah.
And then all the guys. But all the other guys too that are like, in the championship, they're all, there's a lot of talent out there trying to make it in Europe. Even Zalehim, didn't he just go back to Arsenal just now, and then they immediately loan him out somewhere?
Dude, he's been hurt for a minute.
No, I think he's he's finally like running or something like that. That's what I was reading. Can I have a side note here, Sam? I watched the 30 for 30 yesterday.
Which one?
Do you ever see the 30 for 30 on George Best?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
Connor and I watched that. We watched that recently, right?
Yeah, a couple couple months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the last like 30 minutes. I was just watching what a legend he was. Like, dude, in the highlights, it made that, old English soccer always looks stupid. It always looks like it's a big mud pit. Like, why is this even a game? What is this? You guys watched this and cheered? But like he was actually like fluid with the ball. And he did that
control.
One move
that,
he did that one move that Pulisic always does where you look like you're gonna fake it to the one way and then instead of just turning, you stomp it and it pops the ball up in a weird way. Like change direction.
Yeah,
you chop at the ball to change the direction.
Yeah,
like
he would like
dig.
It's like it's a weird move.
The one where he cuts on the goalkeeper in the '68 final against Benfica. Yeah, I've watched that goal a million times. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's so sick.
It's like such a young age. I think it was 21, 22 at that time, and all that fame.
Look at his
there was
talent.
It was crazy how he explained it and said he achieved everything so early, and he was blessed with a gift that he didn't have to work hard for. It's crazy, and the lifestyle that he lived, and when he went to America, the LA team, Elton John's team. It's a crazy career. It's a crazy career.
I only watched up to when he really started becoming like a womanizer and like an alkie, I guess. And
he didn't seem that kind of person on camera. He seemed like just a normal Irish young lad. And he was never trashed on TV. There was a couple of interviews that he did where he was drunk. I think there was a talk show in England. He was like hammered.
I thought the craziest part was about him in Los Angeles. Just like he played, but he was just like on the beach and drinking every day. Like he was living life. Just like in like these little dive bars. Just like this.
I gotta watch the end of it. I recorded. I gotta watch.
It's really good. What were the two results in the January camp last year against Serbia? USA played, and you want to look those up. But I mean, this is an interim manager. What's he called?
Dave Sarachan. I think
he's an interim manager. It's not the big picture. It's kind of they're in transition right now. They're looking until even after the World Cup to appoint a full-time manager.
Like the funny thing about this window or this camp was you had guys who were training for an interim boss who, like, it doesn't matter if you play well because a new guy's gonna come in. And, like, it was actually the most pointless January camp because...
You basically had to, like, dominate the game so that everybody remembers that this one game you dominated so that in a year from now when the new manager's in, they're like, oh, remember that game? That guy's good.
Well, do you think it was a game to kind of invest more the soccer back into the fans, or do you think it was for the selectors of the national team?
Nah, that's a game just to keep the... institution going.
Yeah, just keep the ball
you train for 3 weeks. It's just a thing to keep everyone, the coaching staff, before they even now. When's the election? That's going to be coming up in about in a few weeks, right?
Weeks,
so
10th, I think. Which is like I don't know. It was.
No, I'm saying so. That's like I think that I don't think there's a point. Like fans were right on by not giving a shit because it really was like it could have just been not filmed.
Like if you didn't care, if you didn't watch the game and don't care, like you're not a bad U.S. soccer fan. Like don't feel bad.
It could have been. They could have played a couple scrimmages against teams just to get something
like behind closed doors. It shouldn't have,
pretty much.
It's not FIFA recognized windows, so the game meant nothing. It was Serbia's, Bosnia's
B team,
so
team as well.
That's two specific points that have been brought up. Champions League. The CONCACAF Champions League draw, or whatever, how they pick them, is so far removed from the MLS season, the last one that they use to figure out who's going to be in it. Plus, this window, if MLS ever, come on, just change the schedule. Just there
was a guy on Bosnia. He went to.
He's American.
Yeah, he was going to class today.
Yeah.
He was literally an American kid. That was
really?
His parents were from Bosnia.
Yeah,
he was
he just got a surprise call up.
Yeah, like a D1 college player, like last minute call up, like the last option for the roster. Find this little kid in America. He showed up and made his debut, but he like had class the next day.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's pretty cool.
And it was the other thing was again there was nothing to expect. There's nothing to take away from this game at all. But like even just a win would have just been. Give the fans something, and like these group of
wait, what was the score? 0-0. Gross.
Bosnia missed a penalty, which was cool, I guess. But
there was a lot of Bosnia Bosnian fans? Yeah, that's
it was like 45%
Bosnia.
Bosnia fans.
Yeah.
There was like entire
really?
supporter sections of Bosnia fans, like in droves. And other than the American Outlaws section, there was no one there. It was like American Outlaws, Bosnia fans. Like there was no one in the upper deck. The lower level was half fill. It's the state of the program.
Well,
Forever.
this is the start,
forward.
and there's only one way, and it has to be up. But yeah, looking forward to the next run of games for the US national team, and we're definitely excited for the MLS preseason and the season upcoming. But
We're also excited for the Carabao Cup
absolutely
final.
But we have run out of time. We appreciate everyone for downloading this podcast. Please tweet us at The Third Touch, and we will talk to you soon. Cheers, guys.
Bye, guys. Pen time.
You're never gonna